So, have you ever had a dream that was so vivid that it seemed absolutely so real? I had one of those dreams when I was in college, and you gotta understand, like I went to college 3 or 4 times because, like I said, I am God's own Gump, as in Forrest Gump. It took a long time, and we'll do a whole video about my education adventure, but today I want to share about the dream. So I had went to college to play baseball. I didn't understand that they wanted me to actually go to class and not chase girls and go out and just play baseball. Foreign concept to me, imagine it. So that didn't work out. Had some good times, but it didn't work out the way it was supposed to have. Anyway, after Sherry and I got married, went back to school as a full-time student during the day and worked full-time at night. And within that period, about to have Caleb. So there was a lot going on. But anyway, I'll never forget, we rented this small house and, just two young kids. We were still kids in love, trying to figure things out, and school was a big part of that for us. She would help me with stuff, but I won't forget that a big thing for us was Taco Bell. Like that was, at that period in our marriage, was a celebration to be able to go and we'd get a couple and we'd share like off of what we both got. And I wasn't a big Mexican eater at that time. I have become so now. Like one of my favorite restaurants here is Casa. Like it right down the street from where we live. There's this place, and we've become friends with a lot of the people that work there. Authentic Mexican, not Taco Bell Mexican. But anyway, so we got Taco Bell, and whatever I had some jalapenos in it or something. Like I have figured out, for whatever reason, the few times that I've had some really memorable, vivid dreams was after I eat jalapenos or spicy stuff. And speaking of some spicy stuff, I'm going to share today while I am enjoying a El Centurion H-2K-CT from my father's cigars. And I really like this one. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully that helped that time. But I like this one. Kind of smooth honey spice. I don't know what I taste, but I like it. So anyway, whenever I eat some spicy stuff, especially jalapenos, man, I have some that never ceases to amaze me. That's good. Got a little bit of the wrapper there. It'll be all right. So we had ate Taco Bell, and it was as real as I am talking to you right now. Like, I promise you, it felt that way to me. So in the dream, I'm at school. I went to Virginia Intermont, Bristol, Virginia. Actually, that's where I got recruited to play baseball. I went there, and I loved the school. Just a small school. It was like a family. Loved the memories that I have there. But anyway, I wanted my degree to come from there. So even after the baseball didn't work out, I tried to go to ETSU for a year. Got out, tried to work. I did some good work, but wanted to go back and finish that. It meant something to me, and I wanted it to come from Virginia Intermont. So I went back there. So in my dream, some of this won't make any sense to you, but I want to set the stage. I want to set the stage for you. So I come out of the history building, which is on one side of campus, and I come out. It's beautiful fall day. Leaves have fallen. Blue skies, crisp enough to have a sweatshirt on and shorts. That's my favorite outfit. I think there'll be hoodies in heaven. I think hoodies are the most underrated fashion statement anybody could adorn themselves with. You may think differently, and that's okay. We'll agree to disagree. But, and by the way, this is my almost absolute favorite hoodie of all time. My son, Caleb, and his girlfriend, I call her Sunshine. Her name's Avery. Man, I love them. Like that's an answered prayer. They're such a blessing to each other. Just a good team, you know. They fit. But they got me this Cocoa Beach, Florida. The original Ron Johns, where Kelly Slater, the surfer, best surfer of all time, East Coast, baby. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, love this sweatshirt. So I come out of the history building, and I'm in a hoodie and shorts. And you know, when you come out of a building and there's a bike rack, well, there was a bike rack, but right behind it was a kayak. I kid you not. A kayak floating 4 feet in the air, right? So I go and get on top of the kayak, and I'm floating in the air on this kayak, and I grab the oar just like it's an everyday thing. Now, listen, it's a dream, but it's as real to me as sitting here right now. So I get in the kayak, get my oar, got my backpack on, and I just start paddling across campus, across the street. Like I go up to the street, and I kind of, like that was actually on water. Like that's the way it felt, like this kind of that motion. But there's no water, it's just on air. So I'm in this kayak, I go up to the street, and I back paddle just to look, okay, it's clear, and I paddle across the street, still 4 feet off the ground, just passing people. No one shocked, no one like, oh my, look at that. In the dream, everybody's just like, what's up, Matt, how you doing, what's up, Bags? That was my nickname back then. We'll do a video about Bags, Legend of Bags. So I'm just smoothly paddling. I go down the little street beside the library, holler, hey man, what's up? Hey, see you later today? All right, cool. Keep going, passing people, and then I go down the main court, across the whole courtyard, just smoothly paddling my little kayak 4 feet off the ground. Craziest thing, like so real, so absolute real. And if you know anything about VI or you don't, at the other end, so this is across the whole campus, small campus, I'm just paddling smoothly, and I get to the other side of the campus, which is where the student center is. And outside of the student center is the president of the college and my advisor, who was over the art department at the time. Was he over the art department? He may have just been over our department, but he was one of the main professors in the art department, are standing there waiting on me. Hey Matt, I need to tell you something. So I was like, all right, hold on a second. So I paddle up to the side of the building and get out of my kayak, push it up against the wall, put my paddle in there. I walk up to him, yeah, what's up? Hey, we just want you to know that that we're so happy for you, and because of you rowing every day without water, that's what they said, because of you rowing here every day without water, you've earned your degree. And they handed me my degree. I looked down and I woke up. How crazy Like that was on my mind every day was, why am I doing this? Why did I come back for this? I'm not smart enough for this. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. Like it was all the stuff that we play tricks in our head, that what they call it, the imposter syndrome. I don't belong here. So obviously, it's always in my head, always thinking about school, always praying about it, always trying to figure this out. I go to sleep with that on my mind. And I'd eaten Taco Bell that either messed me up or the jalapeno or something triggered something in my mind to activate, or maybe it was just God Almighty and the pathway was open and he gave me a vivid dream. So I used to give this talk to the college students, rowing without water. And I would tell them about the dream, but I'd let them know, man, listen, there are going to be times in your life when nothing is making sense. Absolutely nothing. Everything seems like it's going wrong. You can't figure it out. You can't fix it. Just keep rowing. When things seem miraculous, like in the dream I would talk about, no one was shocked except me that I'm rowing 4 feet off the ground in air, rowing without water. That's impossible outside of God, who says all things are possible through me. By the way, this is really good. Like if you get a chance to get the old El Centurion H-2K-CT, I'd jump on that. This is good. I like it. So anyway, I would encourage them, listen, man, sometimes you just got to keep rowing when it doesn't make sense. When it could only be an act of God, keep rowing. Even when you ain't got the foundation of solid ground or water or an element under you with nothing solid, nothing makes sense, keep going one more step. Keep paddling one more time. You never know what God's going to use that in other people's lives. You never know the reward that the blessing that he has for you at the end of that. You never know why it's happening. You never know why it's happening to and through you. It's not just to you. A lot of times it's an opportunity that we don't see, obstacles or mountains that we got to climb or valleys that we got to row through as opportunities. And they absolutely are. Absolutely are. So anyway, I share that with them and say, man, keep rowing. Even when you feel like you're rowing without water, keep rowing, because God has you blazing a trail that's your unique trail. He made you so unique in this world that only you can love the way you love. And your family, your parents, your mom, your dad, your siblings can only receive that unique flavor of love through you, created by God Almighty. And if you're not giving it, bro, the world is missing out because you're holding back, because you're too busy or life's too chaotic for you to give the relational love that God wants you to give. Like, come on now. Come on. So I would encourage you, man, if you feel like, even later on in life, like there's so many times I feel that, and I felt like that whole imposter syndrome and rowing without water kind of went together. Like, what's going on? I can't make sense of anything. What do I hold on to? Like, none of this. Just keep going. Just keep going. So, and here is, to me personally, this may be absolutely elemental to you, or maybe just I'm mental to you. Sometimes I get myself tickled, sorry. So here's a cool thing about this, was the next day, I kid you not, such a God thing. The next day, I go to there was a little cubby in the house we rented. Before I start my day, I'd always open up my Bible, do a little devotion, pray for my day, and go after it, right? So this was the verse. This was the verse that day, which to me was absolutely for the dream. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. I was just in awe when I read that. Like, one that I don't, maybe y'all do. I have not found the secret to remembering dreams, but there's been a few in my life that I remembered so vividly that I wrote down and have used them in talks and illustrations to help others. And that absolutely is one at the top of the list. Rowing without water, and to be told, you have crazy thoughts, and even that whole dream made no sense. So one of my first thoughts about that was, how was the kayak staying floating, like anti-gravity? Why would you even think that in a dream? Like, how crazy a thought. Like, sure, like, am I going to answer that? Like, am I going to come up with a good answer to that? Well, maybe, absolutely not. But maybe God even knew what my first question was going to be, because he said, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And it just felt like, man, in my whole journey going back to do something impossible, God was holding me. Wasn't my intelligence, faux show. Was not my intelligence. A lot of effort, a lot of passion, not necessarily intelligence. So a lot of that journey of making the comeback to complete what I felt like God had called me to do was him saying, man, have faith. Have the faith in him, not in myself. Just do what he's directed me to do. I used to tell Caleb this thing. This is one of those Matt sayings. And man, he used to hate this. And he probably still does, because I'd probably still say it given the opportunity. And I tell him, listen, man, you growing up, he got to a certain age, and I say, I'm not going to have a whole lot of hard rules on you. I'm going to suggest some stuff to you, a lot of suggestions, a lot of talks with you. But this one thing I want you to remember, this is solid in our family, written in stone. Do what you're asked, when you're asked, with your greatest effort and your absolutely greatest attitude. Do what you're asked, when you're asked, with your greatest effort and your greatest attitude. And I told him, I was like, Caleb, you will think that I'm getting on you, but I promise you, this will serve you for the rest of your life in so many ways. And I believe that he's found that out. He's never mentioned it or said, hey, thanks for the nugget of wisdom. Never said that, but I think it'll come back around someday, especially when he has kids. But I would drill that in his head. Do what you're asked, when you're asked, with your greatest effort and greatest attitude. Man, the rest is noise. Honestly, when you think about it. I feel like that's trying to go out on me. But it's good. It's smooth. That's smooth. Think about even from the way that came about was I felt like God put that on me listening to him. Matt, do what I ask you to do when I ask you to do it, and do it without bitching, complaining. Do it with your best attitude and your best effort. And the rest is like, if we just followed what God's called us to do without worrying about everybody's opinions, without worrying about the outcome and worrying about how much money am I going to get out of it, like how much better would your life be? Would your family be? Would your endeavors be? If you just did what you're asked, when you're asked, don't put it off, don't make up dramatic excuses of why you got to put it off and procrastinate. Just do it. Just do the hard things, or just do what you're asked, no matter how tedious they are. With great faith. Even when it doesn't make sense, just do what you're asked when you're asked. And do it with your best attitude, not faking it, not drudging it, not out of duty, not out of, oh crap, I gotta. No, I get to. I get to do this. Here we go. I'm going to wear it out. And I'm going to be pretty positive. You ain't got to walk around like you're sucking on lemons, fake smile like, oh, this is awesome. I'm not saying that. Like, some stuff's just hard to do. Don't act like it ain't hard, but have a good attitude about it and put forth your honest best effort. Don't shortcut and cheat and manipulate. Listen, I feel like I'm having a double puff just to keep it going. Some people, and I've done this, I'm guilty, and that's why I say this. Some people burn up so much energy and so much effort more by trying to manipulate and shortcut and make it easier than just doing something. Like just doing it with your best effort. Okay, got to get done. I'm going to be that dude. I'm going to be that dudette. I'm going to wear it out. I'm going to do it now. I promise you. Row without water. Row because of faith. And do it when you're asked to do it with your best attitude and your best effort. Isaiah 41:10, baby. He is with you. He has given you a purpose and a mission upon this earth that only you can accomplish. And the only way you miss out is if you don't have faith that he's the one calling you to do it. You don't have faith that, hey, you know what? All I know to do is the next step, and I'm going to do it the best I can with what I have, with the best attitude and the best effort. See where that gets you. See where that gets you. I tell you where it got me. It got me rowing across a college campus in a floating kayak to receive a degree in college. Matt, that was just a dream. It was until I end up getting 2 degrees in college. And I'll tell you about that story later on, because that was totally a God miracle. Because not only do I use the phrase, I'm God's Gump, as Forrest Gump out of just a cutesy saying, I really was. Like, I was deemed illiterate. I read on a 6th grade reading level coming out of high school. Illiterate. Diagnosed with ADD, learning difficulties, disabilities, dyslexia, whole thing. We'll do a whole video about that. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons that I used to give talks, was talking to people who had learning challenges and give them my story. Hey, there's a way that God has given you a brain that's just different than everybody else's, but he gave you something unique that's yours to use to achieve something unique, even intellectually. Man, there's, whoo! I got going there for a minute. I got to hold up, Hoss. Whoa! Hold up, Hoss. Now I'm fighting this one a little bit, but it's worth it. It's still lit, still burning good, still tastes good. You know what? I'm just puffing away with faith. One more puff. I think you'll like that. So anyway, man, here's my encouragement to you. Go eat some good Mexican. Eat a lot of jalapenos. See if you can remember your dreams. May God give you a blessed, amazing, vivid dream that lasts a lifetime, that helps you through your situation and others. That's 1. 2 is, man, row without water. Just do it because God's given you the opportunity to do it. Have faith. That whole rowing without water talk just came about by faith, telling people to have faith in God and what He's giving you to do. 3 is do what you're asked to do when you're asked to do it with your best attitude and your best effort. I promise you, through a marriage, through your job, through parenting, through things you can't fathom yet that God has you doing, I promise you, that's one of them keys to the kingdoms that I'm going to give you. Life's field guide, right? That's one of those life field guide talks that I give to the students. Actually, that's not in volume 1. That'll be in volume 3, is it? Or 4? I haven't looked. There's about 4 volumes of this, but man, if you want to get the first volume, these are my talk notes that I took some of these talks from, and this is the core, the foundation. If you want to get it, it's on Amazon. Go check it out. If you want to get this Centurion, I get mine from Sidetrack in Bristol, but I believe my father's is usually everywhere in cigar shops. So if you want to check that out, I'm pretty sure that they'll have it. So anyway, man, just that's what I felt led to ramble about today. There's my squirrel, my buddy squirrel. Hey buddy, hope you find your dad. There's a bunch of them around here because we have so many trees, but that one is always on that fence. I guess he's got a home close. Anyway, that literally was squirrel. So I just wanted to share my dream with you guys. Hopefully that'll encourage you in your life, in this crazy thing called life. So go make it a great day, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this, like my friends at Cigar Church say, to the glory of God. Love you guys. I mean it.